I wanted to make this video today to share with you my journey of losing 60 pounds as a 48-year-old woman and how I got just totally snatched for a bodybuilding competition. One of my friends likes to call it snatched. I call it jacked. We're going to call it snatched today. So my name is Heather. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I wanted to share with you my journey of losing 60 pounds as a 48-year-old woman, what it took, what are the things that I did, what are the things that some of the things that I didn't do, how to stay motivated on this journey, things like this. If you're new here, I make videos about yoga and fitness. And personally, I just competed in a bodybuilding competition, a natural bodybuilding competition. And I had a lot of people reach out asking just what did I do? How did I do this? And how did I stay motivated? How did I keep doing all the things that I need to do? Because this did take me over a year to lose the weight that I needed to lose to be able to step on stage. But I've really been taking a focused effort for the last 11 months to prepare for this bodybuilding competition. So I'm making this video today for those of you who are you're just like, how the hell did you do this, Heather? Okay. Now, I really did hesitate on making this video. I understand that weight, body image, fat loss can be a trigger for a lot of people, women, men, anybody. And so I really did struggle with whether or not I wanted to make this video. But I think that it's not doing any good by keeping my story inside and not sharing it with anyone. So I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it here today. Okay. For a little bit of history, I'm 48 years old and I have competed in 3 bodybuilding competitions prior to the one that I did this last weekend. I did one in 2013, 2015, and 2017. Each time I did them, I was miserable. I kept trying to get better and better and better, and I just wasn't getting better. And I was getting frustrated. And so in 2017, I decided that I was done. I was done doing bodybuilding competitions. And over the 8 years since I quit doing bodybuilding competitions, I slowly started gaining 5 pounds here, 8 pounds there, 3 pounds here. And I know this because I was still tracking my weight. I have an app and I was tracking my weight. And it was just like slowly creeping up. And I just kind of attributed it to I had turned 40 in 2017. This is just this age in life when this is what happens with women. You start to gain weight and it's just part of midlife. And I just kind of accepted it that was just part of it. And so my weight was slowly creeping up. And then in January of 2023, I fell while hiking and I broke my tibia and fibula completely in half. And I had to be airlifted off of a mountain. I'd weighed myself that morning. I had just started the 75 hard challenge. And part of that challenge, you have to weigh yourself every single day or take check-in pictures every single day. And so I had a check-in picture and I had weighed myself that day too. And I was the heaviest I had ever weighed in my life, but I was also very fit. I was extremely fit. I had just hiked a rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. So I was like 24 miles from one rim to the other in one day. The day that I was hiking, I was intending to do like a 12-mile hike or something like this. I was about halfway into the hike and anyways, had to be airlifted off the mountain. And it was just a pivotal moment for me where it's, okay, I'm going to have to go through this whole journey of recovery. But on the other side of this, like I already had it in my head. I was coming back. Like I was going to get back to myself. I wasn't certain I was going to do a bodybuilding competition again, but I'm coming back. This is it. And so I went through the journey of physical therapy. And after I got back into hiking, I did some difficult hikes and I just kind of thought if I lost some weight, I could become a little bit of a better hiker, a little faster hiker. It might not be as much of a challenge. I was on an asthma management program through my health insurance company and I'd done all the things they wanted me to do. The last thing I had to do was lose weight. And so okay, I've done all of these things. Now I just need to lose weight. So in April of 2024, I had decided I was going to give myself a year and I wanted to lose 50 pounds. And I ended up losing something like 30 pounds between April 2024 and April 2025, maybe 35 pounds or so. It wasn't quite my goal, but that was totally fine. In December of 2024, though, is when I decided I wanted to do the bodybuilding competition. And I knew I really needed to dial shit in order to make that happen. So I'm going to go over now, like, what are the things that I did? I had lost 18 pounds between April and December. And then from December to this past November, so 11 months, I lost 42 pounds. Okay. So about a year and a half, I lost 60 pounds. But in 11 of those months is where I lost 42. So here's the couple things that I did. I got a couple things that I want to share with you what I did. So the first thing I did that 100% helped me to achieve this goal was to track my food. Now, there's a lot of people on the internet that are like, oh, you don't have to track your food. And I don't believe in tracking macros. And I don't believe in this. That's fine. That's fine. It worked for me. I'm just sharing with you. This is what worked for me. And I use an app, and you can use a notebook. You can just write it down. It doesn't matter. The whole point of tracking your food, number one, I think, is to help learn how to hold yourself accountable to your goals. And I worked in higher ed for a very, very, very long time. I work in private training now, but I worked in higher ed for a very long time, helping people to achieve personal and professional goals. And that is the number one thing of success that I have seen in my career is people who know how to hold themselves accountable to their goals are going to achieve their goals. All right. Hands down. If you know how to hold yourself accountable, you're going to achieve your goals. And tracking your food helps you to keep yourself accountable to your goals and helps you to see when you're doing shit that doesn't align to your goals. All right. A couple things that I was doing that wasn't aligning to my goals. Number one, snacking, endless snacking. I work from home. I had endless access to snacks. So I'd buy shit at the store. They'd be sitting in my cupboard. And those Costco, those nuts, they're covered in caramel and coconut and goodness. You grab a handful, each one of those like nougats things are like 75 calories, and you grab a handful of 4 of them. Grab a handful of 4 of them. Do that 4 or 5 times a day. That shit adds up. And that's what I was doing. And so I ended up gaining weight between 2017 and 2023, 2024. That's where I gained all the weight, 5 pounds here, 8 pounds there, because it was just like I was snacking. Okay. Another thing I realized that I was doing that wasn't helping me to achieve my goals that I found while tracking my food was drinking alcohol. Now, I cut out beer and liquor a long time ago. I have liquor every so often. Maybe if I'm on vacation, I want a fruity drink or something, but that's a rarity. Okay. Wine has always been my thing. I like wine. I like the taste of wine. I love me a good Malbec. I love the way it tastes, but it just absolutely had no place in what I was trying to do to achieve my goals. And I could see that because I was tracking my food. Like, I'm using this app, I'm putting wine in, there's calories, but there's no protein, there's no carbohydrates, there's no fat, there's no minerals, there's no vitamins, there's no nutrients. What the fuck am I doing this for? This is stupid. This doesn't help me achieve my goals. I sleep like shit. I wake up in the middle of the night with body sweats and my heart's racing. Like, why am I doing this? So don't come at me if you see me with a glass of wine, because I'm not saying I'm done drinking, but I can probably count on one hand the number of drinks I've had in the last year. I might have some at Thanksgiving. I might have some at Christmas. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that I found that through tracking my food, that wine was something I was consuming that was not helping me to achieve my goals. Okay. So whether or not you believe in tracking food or not, totally fine. What I'm saying to you is that I found that this worked for me. I use an app. You can use a notebook. It helps you to just get some visibility into what the fuck you're putting in your mouth. Okay. I don't mean to be blunt, but I'm being blunt. There's so many times where you grab stuff and you just don't even realize that you're taking licks of spoons. 100 calories of peanut butter is like nothing. Okay. So yeah, tracking my food, it was 100% what helped speed this up. December 2024 to November 2025, 42 pounds gone. Okay. The next thing is weighing myself. Now, again, you're going to get people on the internet. They're like, ditch the scale. It doesn't mean anything. Blah, blah, blah. I get it. Like women, anyone, men too, can get so freaking frustrated with that number that's between your toes on the scale in the morning. It's so easy to get so frustrated with that number. Trust me, I 100% get it. What I'm going to tell you though, is that I'm 5'10". I cannot go by how my clothes feel to know that I've gained weight or lost weight. All right. I'm going to show you this here. So right here is the bottom of my rib. Right here is the top of my pelvis. So we've got a good 4 inches or so, between the bottom of my rib and the top of my pelvis. I got a lot of room right here. So when people say to me like, you had to lose 60 pounds, like, where were you holding it? And I'm like, I got a lot of room. There's a lot of room right here. Okay. So for me, I can go up and down 30 pounds without changing pant size, legitimately. Like it just kind of fills in right here. And all of a sudden I'll be like, oh yeah, my pants are a little bit tight. If I get on the scale, it's 30 pounds. So if I wait until my pants get tight to start making adjustments to my diet, like we're talking 30 pounds here. So weighing myself is something that I figured out for myself that I have to do, but I also had to shift my mindset around it that it's just an objective unit. It's just a measure. That's all it is. It's just one point of data that I collect in the journey that is Heather's health and wellness journey. Okay. By looking at that number in the scale, some days that number would go up like zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.5. And I'm like, I'm freaking hungry. I'm doing all the work. I'm doing everything. Like, why the freak is it going up? Like, I would get so frustrated. But this mindset shift that I had of, okay, I'm giving myself a year to do this here was like, okay, today it's up. So, I probably need to go to the bathroom, or maybe I had a salty meal the night before, or maybe it's just that time of the month where, women, our hormones, we have a monthly cycle and things just start shifting around. It could be anything. Okay, so it's up 0.2. It would be down 0.5 next week. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay. So I had to really shift my mindset around what that number meant for me. The other thing that I did was I also used a tape measure, like a flimsy tape measure I measured my chest, my waist, my hips, and then my thighs, because then when the scale wasn't moving, I could take a measurement to see where I was getting snatched. I was getting snatched up. So the body fat was coming off, but it wasn't necessarily being reflected on the scale. And through that, by tracking those measurements, I also learned that I kind of lose body fat from the top down. I actually found that I was losing my back fat, but my waist was staying the same. So it was kind of moving from the top down. So weighing myself was really important for, again, learning how to hold myself accountable to my goal, but getting over this, just tying my progress to that number on the scale is just one unit of measure that I'm using to show that I'm making progress towards my goals. Okay. But again, it's not going to be like this for you. It might not be like this for you. That's totally okay. I'm telling you, if you're tall and you can put on 25 or 30 pounds and not change pant sizes, I highly suggest finding another way to start tracking your progress. The next thing that was really important was that I made a commitment to move myself every single day, even on so-called off days. Off days are not just sit on the couch and do nothing. Okay. You can walk, do yoga, do some light yoga, walk around the house, cleaning, things like this, making sure that I was getting my heart rate up, but then also doing weightlifting. I got back to weightlifting 5 days a week. I had originally started doing 3 days a week. I was doing some of the Peloton strength workouts in the app. And then I started getting back to 4 days a week and then 5 days a week. And then I started doing all right, I'm getting back into my bodybuilding training where I'm doing a traditional bodybuilding split, which is going to be something like 2 leg days, a push day, a pull day, and then a full body day. That's kind of how I broke up my weight training workouts. But also making sure that I was doing things like getting on my Peloton. I was going to yoga, doing hiking, getting in the pool, things like this. I was making sure to move my body every single day. But then I was also paying attention to just what's called NEAT. It's your non-exercise activity. So it's things like moving around and walking and getting around the house and doing dishes and doing laundry. And I found that just putting my shoes on while I'm at home, and then that just kind of kept me walking around the house. I got ceramic floors. It's hard on your joints. And so I put my shoes on and it just makes it easier. I'm up, I'm moving around, I'm doing things, doing stuff, walking around. So really committing to getting movement every single day it was a wonderful commitment to myself to get started, to get back to the full bodybuilding training. I didn't jump right back into it. It was really more, okay, this week I'm going to go for a walk every single day for half an hour. And then exponentially, the movements got a little bit harder, got a little bit more intense. Okay. So it was just that idea of just committing to movement every single day. The next thing is yoga. Yoga has been a huge part of my weight loss journey. There's a lot of people out there that will be like, yoga's not for weight loss. It's not a fitness thing. It's not blah, blah, blah. Fine, whatever. It's fine. I'm a yoga teacher. I study yoga. I get it. But what I will say, and I've made a couple of videos about yoga for weight loss. What I will say is that, first of all, yoga, the asana practice of yoga, that's the movement. That's where you go to a yoga studio and you go through, you go through a flow, you go through the poses, things like that. That movement, I think, was very important for me to get that movement every single day. It also helped me to just kind of learn how to flow my body so I'm not so robotic as I'm moving in between poses for my bodybuilding competition. But it was just the proprioception of just understanding where your body is in space and coming into your poses, things like that. It really helped with that. But I think for the weight loss side of things, yoga helped me to be much more mindful of how I'm treating my body, the things that I am doing to make my body more healthy, to respect my body, and then the thoughts that I was having around my body, and just understanding that I think you might have heard the saying, something to the effect of that, just think about the thoughts that you have about yourself. Would you ever talk to somebody else that way? And I think that's what was going on with me, is that like I would look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what the fuck, Heather? This is not you. Like, how did you let this happen? But I would never ever say that to anybody, but I was saying it to myself. And it really just became more, okay, this is the situation we're in. Here's the plan. We're going to adjust the plan when the plan doesn't go right. And we're just going to move forward and we're going to make shit happen. And I'm going to get back to my old self. And so yoga really helped me with that mindfulness of like being focused and being present in the present moment. This is where I am right now, and not thinking about the future, not worrying about the past. Okay, I think when you can be very mindful and be very present in that moment, that's where you're going to help. It's going to help reduce stress. Stress is like you're worrying about shit that might or might not happen, right? You're worrying about shit that already happened in the past you can't change. Okay, so being present in the present moment, like this is where we are. This is what we're doing. This is the situation. It is what it is. It helps to reduce stress. Okay, so that mindfulness really helped me with my weight loss. And I think that yoga has been a huge part of my body transformation journey, in the sense that yoga helps you to become much more aware of your movement of your body, but also just like what's going on up here. There's just a lot of stuff in yoga of what's going on up here. How are you talking to yourself? How are you thinking about yourself? What kind of foods are you eating? How are you treating yourself, both physically, mentally, spiritually, all these things. So yoga was a huge part of that for me. Let's talk a little bit about diet. So what was I eating? All right, that's probably the biggest question I get is, so what the hell were you eating, Heather? With the app that I was using, you can track your macros. So your macros are going to be your proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So I really focused on trying to get to 150 grams of protein a day. I didn't always get to that. Most of the time I didn't get to that. That's a lot of protein. Unless I'm drinking protein powder, I have a hard time getting to that number of grams of protein per day. I do have a video here on YouTube where you can take 150 grams of protein. If you divide that up by 5, so eating 5 times a day, that's 30 grams of protein per. You can have 5 ounces of chicken and 5 ounces of white fish or protein or steak, things like that. You can kind of break it up. But I was shooting for 150 grams of protein per day. And then my carbohydrates largely came from vegetables. And then I would eat healthy fats. So things like avocados, nut oils, things like that. I would put together meals based on, I would pick a protein source, and then I would pick a vegetable, and then I would pick a healthy fat with it, mix it up with some good spices. You can get some really good spices now, like they're like pre-made spices. You can go into the spice section in your grocery store, and they've always got pre-made spices for things. You can just dump that on there, and it's good. The other thing that I ate a lot of was berries. I ate a lot of berries. So I love blueberries and egg whites. I ate a lot of raspberries and strawberries, things like that. And so I figured I had 3 square meals a day, and then maybe a snack or 2 in there. With the snack would be something protein related. So I would have like a slice of turkey or a slice of chicken, maybe along with a handful of nuts or something like that. So really focused my diet on protein, vegetables, healthy fats. Of course, I had snacks in there too. I didn't just go without any sort of snacks or anything, but I would have them. But it would be like Saturday night and I want to have a hamburger with some fries. So I would have a hamburger with some fries, but that's it. Like I wasn't doing that every single night. I may do that 1 or 2 times a month. Okay. So really focusing in on protein, vegetables, healthy fats. And then the last thing is hydration. I think that that's something that we don't talk about enough, is hydration. So I live in the desert. I live in Arizona. So I'm just probably chronically dehydrated, and I'm a hiker. So while I'm hiking, I do use electrolytes. That's the only time I use electrolytes though. Like when I'm just like, I'm hiking, I'm sweating, and I'm doing a long hike, and I need those electrolytes to help with muscle cramps, keep things balanced, that kind of thing. I shoot for a gallon of water a day. I think that most of us are chronically underhydrated. I think that oftentimes we confuse hunger signals with thirst. And so I think that for me, if I felt hungry, what I would do is I would drink a big glass of water first, give it 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and see how I felt. Because I think that we can confuse those signals very easily. We'll start eating when we're really just thirsty, and maybe some water will help subside that sensation. I think most of us are chronically underhydrated, so I think that spending focused attention on it, focused effort on how much water I'm drinking. I have mason jars that have the number of ounces of water, and I would just kind of track that throughout the day to make sure, am I drinking enough? It's okay. It's noon. Did I have at least half of what I want to drink for the day yet? And if not, okay, I need to start getting caught up. You can, the other way you can track things too is the color of your urine, checking the color of your urine. If it's dark, you're not drinking enough water. And I know a lot of people have jobs where it's difficult to drink a lot of water. I used to be a school teacher. I get it. You can't just leave the classroom. You can't just leave a classroom of kids to go to the bathroom. So it can be difficult for a lot of people depending on what you do all day, every day. It can be difficult to get your water in, but it is an important thing to try to figure out a way to make it work. That if you are in a situation where you can't just get up and go to the bathroom whenever you would, can you drink water around like when you know you have planned restroom times? So I think that was probably the other really big thing for me, was really focusing in on that sensation of hunger. Is it really hunger or is it thirst? Anyhow, those are some of the major things that I did to lose the weight. I think that these are all things that, like, they all come together into creating a healthy lifestyle. It's not just one thing. And I think that sometimes when I talk to people about what I've done, they're a little disappointed that there wasn't just like one magic bullet. It was really around me making the decision that this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be motivated every single day to do the work, but I have these goals. And I literally took my goals. You can see, I don't know if you can't see it right here, but I took pictures of the bodybuilding poses that I was going to have to do, and I taped them up in my bathroom, and then I ended up moving them into my gym, my home gym. But I literally had these taped next to my bathroom. So I saw them, bathroom sink. So I saw them every single day. This is my goal. This is what I'm working towards. And it's just like a mental reminder of that this is what I'm working on. I had my workout plans on my dining room table. So it's like right in front of me every time I walk past it. There it is. It's a reminder. This is what you're doing. This is what you're working on. I had a sheet of paper where I could track down some of the food I was like, if I didn't want to put it in the app right away, I could just jot it down on a sheet of paper. Again, it's right there in front of me on the dining room table. My goals are right there in front of me at all times. And so when I'm not motivated, it's that reminder of this is what I'm working towards. This is what I'm doing. This is who I'm going to be. All right. So motivation does not work. I need to make a whole separate video about motivation, but it doesn't work. You've just got to make a decision that this is what you're going to do. And it's got to be a big enough why to get you through those hard moments, to get you through those moments where it's freaking cold out and it's raining and my electric blanket feels nice and warm and I don't want to get out of bed and go to the gym before work. It's got to be strong enough to get you up out of bed in those situations. And that's really all it is. There's really no like secret magic bullet. It's make the decision, do the work, be consistent with it. You get off track, you rein it back in, and learning how to do that for yourself. You've got to do it. It's your goal. You've got to do the work. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to, you can't, there's a couple things in life you can't delegate. You can't delegate going to the bathroom. You can't delegate your exercise. You just got to do the work. Okay. So anyhow, let's talk about Operation Fit as Fuck, Operation Fit AF or OFAF. That is really taken off. We're going to start a new group starting in January. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to open up enrollment for whenever you're ready to enroll. We're going to have different cohorts of 75 days. Like I want to keep doing it. So we work on the goal for 75 days. And then you take 2 or 3 weeks of a little bit of a break and then you rein it back in for 75 days. Okay. But what I don't want to do is if you decide you're ready to join and we're like in the middle of a 75-day mission, I don't want it to be like, nope, you got to wait. So we're going to make it so that you can join at any point. It will be on my website, operationfitaf.com. Right now, what you can do is you can sign up to get on the mailing list so that when we're ready, we're going to release this, get you going. And you're going to have access to monthly workouts, a community, all sorts of really great resources, recipes, stuff like this that's going to help you achieve your goals. Again, you got to do the work, but we're going to lead you along the way. So operationfitaf.com. Check it out. Talk to you later.